Hello and welcome to Crime Watch Daily Updates. I'm your host, Anna Garcia. Imagine growing up with one identity only to learn 18 years later that you're not actually who you thought you were. That's precisely what happened to Alexis Manigo, first known as Kamiyah Mobley. In July 10th of 1998, Shanara Mobley gave birth to a little girl and named her Kamiyah at University Medical Center in Jacksonville, Florida. Hours later, Kamiyah would be taken from the hospital by a woman posing as a nurse, claiming that she needed to examine the newborn. Investigators searched everywhere for Kamiyah, but the case eventually ran cold. It turns out that a woman named Gloria Williams took her and brought her back to Waterboro, South Carolina, where she was raised as Alexis Manigo. Everything changed when she became a teen and was trying to get a job. She needed a social security card and an ID first. Detectives received some tips that led them to Alexis, and then a DNA test proved that Alexis was actually Kamiyah. Gloria was arrested in 2017 and in 2018 pleaded guilty to kidnapping the newborn. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison. In 2022, Gloria filed a motion to have her sentence cut in half to 9 years, and the girl that she abducted was actually supportive. She said in her letter to the court, quote, "I am writing this letter in support of my mother, Gloria Williams. I would like to make it very clear that she is my mother. She raised me and not only provided for my needs, but she loved me unconditionally." A judge, however, dismissed the motion. Gloria will continue to serve her 18 years behind bars. The young woman reportedly now spends time in Florida and South Carolina as she builds a relationship with her birth parents. Let's take a look back at a case that shocked a Florida community and gave a young woman a new life under false pretenses.
After 20 long years, the major cold case has finally been solved.
Tonight, the woman charged with posing as a nurse and kidnapping an hours-old baby is spending her first night in the Duval County Jail.
Back in 1998, a woman snatches a newborn baby girl from her mother's arms by passing herself off as a nurse needing to examine the infant.
She shouldn't have never left out my arms from the beginning.
The abduction ignited a desperate search, with more than 2,000 tips pouring in. But after years of leads that went nowhere, the case went cold. Then, decades later, an anonymous tip turned the case red hot. When a DNA match identified 18-year-old Kamiyah Mobley as the baby taken from her mother so many years before.
She appears to be in good health. She appears to be a normal 18-year-old young woman.
Piecing the old case together, investigators raid the South Carolina home where Kamiyah was raised. And inside, a treasure trove of evidence, including baby photos of Kamiyah throughout her life and a phony hospital ID card. Cops soon nab the mother who lives there too, Gloria Williams. They bring her to headquarters for questioning.
Well, it's a missing persons case. The missing persons Kamiyah Mobley. An infant that was taken from Jacksonville in '98. That's all I'm going to say right now. Unless you want to talk more about that.
What's that?
Nothing at all.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about it? Never heard anything?
If you happen to want it, then we can talk.
Investigators also want a picture of the accused baby snatcher.
Why are you taking a photograph?
I just need one for the case file.
Can you look at it? Well, why you need taking my photo? I'm sure you don't have my permission to do that.
Then Williams' second husband, Wernosky Williams, is brought in for questioning. She married him 13 years after snatching Kamiyah, and he tells cops his wife never told him a thing.
Is there something else that you know what's going on?
Well, I wish I
It
did.
sounds like this thing, you don't know anything about this thing.
No,
Okay.
I wish I did know.
Okay.
No charges were ever filed against Gloria Williams' husband, who had just learned about the kidnapping following his wife's arrest. But by this time, the state attorney begins the delicate work with the family who's endured so much pain.
We met this morning with the sheriff with Kamiyah's biological parents, both her mother and her father, and we promised that we would be committed to holding their hand through this process.
Kamiyah, whom Gloria renamed Alexis, meets her birth family for the very first time.
Everybody is just really loving on her. Like, everybody's just really happy that she's here.
And just days later, another emotional reunion. A bittersweet moment as Kamiyah is reunited with Gloria Williams, the only woman she has known as her mother.
It's okay.
So how did the truth about Kamiyah's real identity come to light? The deception began to unravel when the teenager applied for a restaurant job and was asked for her Social Security card. Problem is, Kamiyah didn't have one. And when she asked her mother about it, Williams broke down and confessed to abducting her as a baby. Kamiyah kept her secret for 2 years and finally shared it with a friend, and that friend phoned in the tip. And the other burning question, why did she do it? Gloria Williams' family says the now 52-year-old suffered a miscarriage and had a nervous breakdown before stealing the baby, which she passed off as her own.
And I'm certain the prosecution will take the perspective that, we can't let everybody in society think that, oh, well, it's okay if you steal other people's children and you raise them to be good people, that we're not going to prosecute those type of crimes.
But Kamiyah is standing by the woman who kidnapped her all those years ago, supporting Gloria Williams through her legal fight. The woman she has always called Mom gives Kamiyah a smile as she walks into the courtroom. But that smile may be fading soon. Williams took a deal and pleaded guilty to 1 count of kidnapping and 1 count of interference with custody. At sentencing, she could face up to 22 years in prison.